Hi guys, let's talk about how modern men and women feel about going down and the dynamic at play here. I was at a friend's party recently and struck up a conversation with a couple of people regarding alpha and beta males, MGTOW, and what kind of men and women tend to easily go down on each other, and what were the reasons some seldom do. There are many viewpoints on this. There are some men who believe going down on women is beneath them or should only be done when they're in long-term relationships with them. Then there are others who believe that there's nothing wrong with going down on women and that it actually gives them more control over women. They believe once you go down on a woman and give her more pleasure than she has ever imagined, then you can get her to do anything for you. I personally believe in this. I think going down on your girl and giving her the climax of a lifetime is not just perfectly acceptable. It's something that gives you pleasure as well. Also, it will only strengthen your relationship and add some excitement to your intimate life. One technique to show someone you desire them is through oral intimacy. It's an excellent method to get to know someone and discover what makes each other tick. More often than not, women experience climax through cunnilingus. However, because of established misogyny, males are perceived as weak if they choose to appease a woman rather than exploit her for their own amusement. Men are more likely than women to have had oral intimacy, according to research. According to the same studies, straight women do not climax as frequently as women who are interested in other women. This can be the result of their guys not making an attempt to go down on them. The finding is intriguing since it reveals that more men than women described oral intimacy as extremely delightful, which should reassure women who lack the confidence to ask their men to get down on them. Even while it gives them pleasure to provide oral intimacy, far too many men avoid it, which can cause issues in relationships due to the fact that you are abandoning your girlfriend. I also believe that many guys don't put much effort into refining their skills because they view oral intimacy as a quick pit stop rather than their primary goal. It turns out, though, that some guys are not simply passionate about it, they are also fixated on it. Men can still enjoy the pleasure of going down on women despite the notion that most men won't engage in oral intimacy with her until she has totally shaped her lower body, or that they do it out of duty. It's important for both men and women to experiment with each other. This is because doing the same routine in bed is going to get boring after a while, and if the man or the woman doesn't spice anything up. So, in my opinion, a woman must go down on a man, just like a man must go down on a woman. There are no ifs and buts. Women occasionally may not be fully invested in an intimate relationship. The majority of it is done to gain something or benefit in some other way, whether it be a relationship or to give the man extreme pleasure. I also want to talk about the guys who think going down on women is something modern alpha males should not do. They think it's something that degrades the integrity of men, that it's something that makes men subservient to women. I frankly don't know where these guys are coming from. I mean, have you ever gone down a woman properly and felt her give in to you? Let's get the economics of this first. It's common knowledge that women, most women, do not climax through penetrative intimacy, and most of them do climax through oral intimacy. So, the demand is high for oral intimacy, and the supply is low because there are men who believe that kings don't go down on women. You know, that might have been correct a couple of 100 years back, but it just doesn't work like this in this day and age. I have no disrespect for guys who choose to not go down on women. It's a personal choice. If your woman is fine with it, then you have that sorted out, because there are a lot of women who don't want to receive oral intimacy for one reason or another. Some say they just feel it's disgusting, and others say that it's not fair when they're not going down on their men, and yet they're asking their men to go down on them, so they just both end up avoiding it. Guys who don't go down on women are also choosing to not have control over their women in bed. One of the key factors that differentiate alphas and betas is that the alphas will always want to dominate in bed. They want to be leaders, not just in business, but in the bedroom with their women. This means they have a need to show the women their expertise, signaling to them that they've been with other women before and therefore are experienced. They have a need to be in control of the women and make them succumb to pleasure under the expertise shown by the alphas. The beta males, on the other hand, either say they won't go down on women, or that they won't go down on women until a woman goes down on them first. Truth is, these guys don't know the art or have the expertise to go down on women, and they mask this with PS, such as saying that they don't need to do it because it is beneath them. Actually, studies show that about 1/3 of women like it when men go down on them, as opposed to regular intercourse. It all depends on what you hope to gain from the encounter. The idea is to simply enjoy yourself and the woman's entire body, taking pleasure in every touch, taste, smell, and visual sensation as you do so. She is enjoying her body so much while you are enjoying yourself giving her pleasure. Just enjoy the experience. I also have to say that it's important to first check if the woman you want to go down on is a woman who takes care of her hygiene. No disrespect to the women here, but if a man's supposed to touch you down there, if he's going above and beyond to make sure you're all set in the pleasure department, then you better be clean down there, with no funny business going on. There have been too many instances of guys who have had to face disease or some sort of skin infection because their women didn't bother cleaning themselves down there. I think it was Michael Douglas who even contracted throat cancer because of going down on too many women who weren't clean and had HPV infections. So, keep yourself safe. I've got mad respect for the men who set boundaries regarding going down on women, and I recommend this too. I think you shouldn't go down on every woman you date. It should be with just the women you know for a while, who you're serious about, and who you know keep themselves neat and clean for you. You shouldn't go about doing it with every one-night stand you have, because in that case, you never know the history of the woman or what she's like, or how many men she's been with generally, and whether she's had any sort of illnesses or diseases in the past that can be linked to the STDs. I'm not saying that you do a health background test with a woman before you date her. I'm just asking you to be careful and go down on the women you have known for at least a while. This is because when you've already been with a woman for 10 dates, you tend to have an idea of the sort of woman she is. If she's the type who sleeps with different guys on a regular basis, it's best to stay clear of her. Alright guys, I hope you got the idea of when and when not to go down on women, and what women may feel about this. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.